It's transition day in Ottawa. Just a few hours
1979. After only 6 months, the floundering Clark government fell.
An agonizingly short term for Clark. He was here.
In Quebec, separatism was on the rise again. Trudeau's old nemesis, René Lévesque, thought the coast was clear for a winning referendum. Now we needed Trudeau again. We gave him that rarest of political gifts, a second chance.
I know that in the first part he did quite a few memorable things that would satisfy the, any prime minister to leave behind him. But it was not maybe quite enough for him. Now he wanted to change the world a bit more.
President.
I, Pierre Trudeau, do solemnly and sincerely promise and swear.
He was determined to complete his unfulfilled mandate, to bring home the Constitution, give Canadians a Bill of Rights, and settle once and for all with the separatists. This was the fight of his life. Everything he stood for was at stake.
These people want to split it up. They want to take it away from their children. They want to break it down. No, that's our answer.
That was simply a brilliant period of prime ministerial leadership, which resulted in a defeat of a major heavyweight. René Lévesque, in his own way, was as major, a different political figure, but as major a political talent as Pierre Trudeau. We had the real heavyweights in that fight. That was the A class. And Mr. Trudeau bested him in the fight of his life.
He brought home our Constitution, but when he sat down with the Queen to sign it, a key player was missing. René Lévesque refused to deal. Trudeau's dream of uniting us had created new divisions. His obsessive commitment to national unity was creating enemies. The bitterness is still with us.
Trudeau was a very strong man. In a lot of ways, my impressions of him are much more positive than people might think. As is the case with every strong man, where he was right, he had a very durable effect, but where he was wrong, because he was so effective, the impact of decisions that were badly based were with us for a long time to come.
By 1984, we had had enough. The old showman crafted his exit lines carefully.
Had a great snowstorm last night. The skies were right. Went for a long walk. Came back at midnight. Took a sauna. Got rid of all the accumulation of baggage and just made up my mind.
Are you going to miss it?
No. I talked to my boys this morning. They were happy, so it makes it great.
For the Trudeau kids, losing their lifelong home at 24 Sussex was puzzling.
We always knew that 24 and Harrington weren't our homes, but it was, I remember the conversation was that, okay, but who owns this house? We don't own this house. No, the government owns this house. Yeah, but you run the government, so we own the house.
Out came the sporty Mercedes again. Our affair with Pierre Trudeau was finally over.
Trudeau would never admit it, just as Churchill would never admit it. They were both good actors, and they rehearsed a lot more than they let on. But he had natural flair, great conversationalist, could reduce a thought to a one-liner beautifully. He had guts, personal guts, courage, as I said, decisiveness, and he became in his day the best-known Canadian in the world, and he therefore imprinted his personality on his generation. I'd say for that reason he was the most remarkable person of his generation.
Remarkable in more ways than one. An aging Trudeau would surprise us once again with the birth of a daughter. And he was still playing the tough guy.
Our hopes are high. Our faith in the people is great. Our courage is strong.
and our dreams for this beautiful country will never die.
The play was over. No time to write new acts. There were offers in business and international affairs, but Trudeau wanted to focus on his 3 sons.
His main focus of his life were his boys, and I think that's why he decided to have a somewhat quieter life and not be going around the world the way he used to, because he wanted to have time with them. They were still relatively young.
For the most part, he stayed out of politics, but when he felt we needed his guidance, he was there. He took on the Premier's and Brian Mulroney's government about changes to the Constitution and brought us with him.
I, for one, will be convinced that the Canada we know and love will be gone forever. I think we have to realize that Canada is not immortal. But if it's going to go, let it go with a bang rather than with a whimper.
Out of power, he still had power.
There was always a respect for Trudeau. No matter what anyone thought of him, there was a respect there. And not just while he was Prime Minister, years and years after he was Prime Minister, he could enter a room anywhere in this country and heads would turn, voices would drop, and someone had arrived.
Most senior citizens would walk away from confrontation. Not Trudeau the fighter. He continued to surprise us. At 72, Trudeau became a father again to Sarah Elizabeth Coyne, now 8 years old. She and her mother, Deborah, have moved to Ottawa, so Trudeau can more easily see the child. Nearly 80, he has apparently lost none of his fabled charm.
And women come to him very, very, very easily, by the way. Just a week ago, I was having lunch in a restaurant, and I excused myself for a minute to go to the washroom. And when I came back, there was a beautiful blonde talking to him, and admiring him, and sitting in my place.
I don't think we will get over him, and I don't think we should get over him, because it was true love. And true love has certain properties. And whatever the mix of betrayal and love and anger and desire, that will stay.
Pierre Trudeau's enduring fascination is that we loved him, we hated him, but we never fully understood him. He eluded us, and he haunts us, and he taunts us still.
I had been retired, but that doesn't mean I was out of politics. I'd come back once and I could come back again.